Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Chris Maloney back with you for another edition of the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame presented by CWN. And I am honored, I am proud. You know it's the Hall of Fame edition because I'm rocking this shirt once again. And a lot of surprises coming up tonight. I'll reveal the results of the 2022 class. And right away, I want to introduce myself, Chris Maloney, founder and editor of CWNonline.ca. 13 years today. The website is going strong. It's the 13th anniversary. So when I created the class, the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, I wanted to do it on the anniversary date of CWN. So hence, January 18th of every single year is going to be the official anniversary date of CWN, as well as the anniversary date for the 2022 class, 2023 class, and as long as we can keep going. So I'm going to bring on somebody first, my wife, Christine. And Christine, say hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Hi.
So, reason Christine is on the show, and you've seen her on past shows, CWN Weekly. Don't know if you were on the Hall of Fame episode last year. I don't think so.
That was a year ago. I don't remember.
Yeah, so we've been together for over 7 years. We have been married for, and I hate to think about this, and not in a bad way, but four. The reasons Christine is on is because pretty much any idea I have when it comes to wrestling, pretty much for the past 7 years, has gone through Christine. She started out doing contributor for CWN, doing the pay-per-view predictions, and it wasn't anything famous. It was kind of like, I like this guy because he looks stronger. I like this guy because he looks tougher. I like this guy because he has a better beard. You know what I mean? So that being the case, she's a casual fan, but she, is with me through and through with this. If I have an idea at 3:00 in the morning and I wake her up, she's going to be mad at me, but she also is going to, help me create the idea, go with the idea, shut things down, start things up, whatever the case may be. Your thoughts on doing this the second year in a row, because you know me personally and you know how sometimes I get started and stopped as far as some of my projects go. But what are your thoughts on doing the second one a year later?
I don't know. It's something you seem to be very passionate about. Seems to be working well. You have I don't know the word I'm trying to say. You have it all down to a science by now, I think. It's pretty good.
I'm still getting better. I will say this, Christine is an educator here in the province of Ontario. Because of the pandemic, she has had to get used to doing the online thing, virtual teaching and online teaching, school, teaching from home. She's from the couch, but she's gotten used to Google Meets and Facebook. No, not Facebook. What's the other one? Microsoft Teams and the various ones that are out there. I don't think you guys have ever used Zoom, though, eh?
No, we use Teams and Google Meets.
Yeah, and obviously we're doing this through StreamYard, but fans, thank you very much if you're watching, listening, of course, but if you're watching live right now, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, send in your comments. We get a few comments in already, and I will present those to you. But Christine, thanks for coming on the show. I just wanted to do a formal introduction as far as the Hall of Fame episode goes. Thank you very much. I'm going to let you go and say thank you, and have a good night until I'm done the show. But anyways, it's going to be fun. Like I said, we got a few surprises going on. So I'm going to say goodbye to Christine, and there I am full screen once again. I'm going to see what the comments are, and I'm going to post the comments first right before I bring on the next guest here. And so first, Can't Wait by Brad Circarella. I hope I pronounced your last name right. Aaron Sison, back for another year. Always loved this show. Thank you. He was a part of last year's show as well. So Chem Valley Wrestling down there in Sarnia, I believe. Thank you for the comment there, Aaron. As well as the one and only Sonny Strong, 3919. And he has been a big advocate of my next guest coming up. As far as social media goes, so Twitter as well as Instagram, of course, YouTube, and this guy I think is one of the most famous Canadians I know. I've never actually got to personally meet him yet, but I will at one of the upcoming wrestling shows. And one more person saying Anthony Picard, so excited. So if you're not sure who I'm talking about yet, I'm going to bring him on the show. I'm going to get rid of some of these graphics though first. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get rid of, it's weird. I don't think I've done a live show since August of last year, but I'm still pretty good with this. Next guest coming up. Everybody knows him SWJ, Steven's Wrestling Journey. I created the hashtag Steven Strong for him. I got to see him personally at a show way back, I think 2018, Impact Wrestling TV tapings, and he beat up on Tyson Dukes that night. He was alongside Joe Hendry. It's a pretty awesome moment. Lo and behold, never thought I'd have him on my the Hall of Fame podcast show. But he is a very passionate wrestling fan, independent as well as pro wrestling. He's done more interviews than I can probably count, and he is knocking them out of the park every single week. So, guys, if you're not sure who Steven's Wrestling Journey is, it's the mastermind behind that. It's the one and only Mr. Steven Spice. Steven, how you doing?
Good. No need to applaud me. Don't need to flatter me.
I think I forgot the part about the promo kid.
Yep.
One of Steven's very many nicknames there. I'm going to keep going through the comments here just as I've got Steven on the show. Brad Zuccarella, once again, woo, Steven. So he's excited to have Steven on the show here. Steven, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and as well as Steven's wrestling journey?
So Steven's wrestling journey, you want to know how it started out?
I would love to know how it started out.
We used to just do something called Steve's 3, where I interview wrestlers and I ask them 3 questions and 3 questions only. Then we got Tyson Kidd on, or Chris Van Vliet. Yeah, I think it was Chris Van Vliet. And for Turnbuckle Talk. That's how that started out. Then we started doing only Turnbuckle Talks, and we have no more Steve's 3, which is thankfully.
And you've also got a series called Getting to Know as well, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I did that in the same video. I just separate them.
I'm curious, how many wrestling figures do you have behind you? Because I've noticed that you've been tidying them up lately. Would you say 100?
No. 1 or 2. 1 or 2.
1 or 200. All right, so more. 1 or 2. Wow, Steven's got some more. 1 or 2,000. Wow. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day when I was a kid, they had LJN figures. And those were the 6 to 8 inch kind of rubber figures, and the Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, those type of guys. I only had, I think, 30 at the most. So you've got me beat by a long shot there.
1 sec. Mom's getting something.
I can hear her digging through a box, maybe.
Yeah, we have a lot of boxes of figures. We have a lot of shelves full of figures. Basically, my brother has all Pokemon stuff on his bed frame and everything. I have wrestling.
You have wrestling.
Wrestling.
Now, how about the Funko Pops? Because I know your generation's into those as well.
First of all.
Oh, wow, look at this. Old school SD Jones right there. Oh, you got the Cody figure.
Yep.
And Mr. Classy Freddie Blassie, very good. And that looks like Davey Boy Smith.
And a Big Show.
Oh, and the Big Show, very good. So I'm gonna read some more comments for you, and then I'm going to make an official announcement here. Where are we here? So Andrew Farrell says, that's awesome, congrats, Steven. You can read these comments on the screen, I'm assuming, yeah?
Yep, I can see them.
Okay. I'm just going to do this for audio purposes as well. Antonio Miranda, hey, it's Steven. I bought a shirt. Sonny Strong again. I am so happy for you, Steven. You deserve it, buddy, and I am proud of you. And then we go into Brad Zuccarella again. Man, I feel old. I collected the LJN figures myself. So, so I mean, to me, as when I was a kid, I collected as much as I possibly can. It looks like you're collecting as much as you possibly can. Somebody else, I don't know if you know this, and somebody you recently interviewed was the one and only Cody Deaner, a.k.a. Deaner now in Impact Wrestling. He's a big fan of the LJN figures. Can you name the 3 wrestlers that he used to have or he always kind of has in his videos?
I've got these in the back of my hand. I know these at the back of my hand. Ricky Steamboat.
Yes.
Hulk Hogan and
Yep.
Jake.
Yeah, and Jake the Snake Roberts. Very good. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to get rid of this one banner here. I'm going to bring on a video, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you something that's been in the works. I'm very proud to announce this. I'm very excited for this. Christine, my wife, who was on the air earlier, was a big part of this award being part of this show. But with that being said, hang on there, Steven. I want to show this to you right now.
Hey guys, Cody Deaner here. It is my honor and privilege to be giving out this very special award at the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. This award is the Just Giver Award. Let me just read to you exactly what it is. It is an award that is dedicated to a Canadian that goes above and beyond their role as a human being or professional athlete. And I was the inaugural winner last year. It was an award based after some of the work I've done in the community and the stuff I've done with Giver for Charity, my charity fundraising organization. So this year, it is my honor and privilege to present the next winner of this. And this is a very special person. And he's not a professional athlete, but he's a professional, awesome dude. And the winner for this year's Just Giver Award is Steven Spice. Steven Spice. Let me tell you a little bit about Steven Spice and why exactly he is winning this award. This award is going to Steven Spice, and he's known by talent, both wrestlers and wrestling fans, as the mastermind behind SWJ, Steven's Wrestling Journey. He's a 10-year-old boy battling Chiari malformation, and Steven has recently raised over $25,000 for the Sick Kids Foundation through Steven's Hearts for Chiari malformation. He's a dedicated and passionate and loyal wrestling fan. And he's also passionate about raising money and raising donations for his annual holiday toy drive to donate to Starlight Canada. He's nicknamed the Promo Kid. I've had this kid do some promos with me, and I've heard some of his promos against some other wrestlers, and they are amazing. And he has done countless interviews and currently has more than 3,500 subscribers on YouTube. Had some amazing interviews with Kevin Owens on WWE's The Bump. He's talked to Roman Reigns. He has talked to Edge. And I've had the honor and privilege of being on his show as well. So let me proudly introduce to everyone this year's winner of the Just Giver Award for the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, my buddy and yours, Steven Spice.
Steven, congratulations. You are officially in the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame presented by CWN. And Cody was very honored to be giving you this award. I'm going to get your comments, your thoughts, and I'm going to show you one more video there.
This means a lot to me. I am in shock. I have no words. This makes me so happy. Thank you so much.
And we get a few more comments coming in. One from Chris James. Congrats, Steven. And we get a follow-up by Mr. Aaron Sison. Way to go, Steven. You deserve it, buddy. So I'm going to make sure I get a plaque out to you as well as a certificate. And when we're able to do live shows again, I'm going to make sure I officially introduce myself. And I'll be able to present the plaque to you in person there. I've talked to your mom a little bit about it, and she thought it would be a good idea. So I'm going to show you one more video, though. And this is courtesy of somebody you might know. And just hang tight here.
What's going on, Steven? It's your boy, Aiden Prince. You know, when I heard that the Canadian Wrestling Hall of Fame and Cody Deaner were going to give you the Just Giver Award, I had to make sure that I got a video shout out and a video congratulations to you. Little man, I'm proud of you. I miss you. I can't wait to see you soon. And get ready, because we're going to be table smashing. We're going to be high flying. We're going to be screaming. We're going to be yelling. We're going to be doing everything that you do best very soon. I love you, man. Again, I'm proud of you, and I'll see you soon.
So that was courtesy of Mr. Aiden Prince. And when I put out the nominees for the 2022 class, Steven got back to me almost right away through Instagram and said there was 2 wrestlers he wanted to see featured, and one was Aiden Prince. And do you remember who the other one was? Channing Decker.
Oh yeah, Channing Decker. Yeah, I got back to him like, where's Channing and Aiden?
So I'm going to make sure next year that both of those guys are in for sure. We got some more comments coming in. Sonny Strong 3919, you deserve it, Steven, you deserve it. And I think there's supposed to be a clap that maybe goes along with that. And we have another one as well. Antonio Miranda, good kid. So Comments coming in for Steven. So you're officially in the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame presented by CWN, as well as Cody Deaner is very honored to have you part of this. Obviously, Aiden Prince is happy to have you part of this as well. I reached out to Channing Decker. I haven't heard back from him yet, but if I do, I will send your mom the video so you're able to see that as well. So any final thoughts before I let you go, because I know you got school and all that sort of jazz, but one question for you first. Would you like to do an interview for the CWN website? So
sure.
we'll line that up outside of the Hall of Fame stuff, and we'll have a little more time, and then we'll be able to do it earlier in the day and stuff like that. But what are your thoughts on 2022? What are you looking forward to as far as wrestling goes?
I'm trying to think. I think I'm looking forward to the pay-per-views that are going to be coming up. I'm looking forward to the new wrestling figures that are coming out. Those are going to be pretty cool. Wrestling shows opening. That's going to be very nice.
So you mentioned pay-per-views. What's your favorite pay-per-view of all time as far as what's out there?
Oof.
Or what's the one that you're looking forward to the most coming up? Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, AEW?
AEW probably.
AEW probably, yeah.
AEW, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania are 3 matches because WrestleMania is a big stage, and Royal Rumble, I get to figure out who's gonna. I like Royal Rumbles. They're actually like a really good match. I like them a lot.
Now, do you follow wrestling news at all?
If and in.
Okay, so I don't know if you heard the news, but Cody Rhodes right now is a free agent. So it's going to be so it's going to be interesting to see whether or not he re-signs with AEW or he ends up elsewhere. But I'm gonna say 99.9%. I think he's going to end up back in AEW.
AEW.
All right. So I want to officially once again say congratulations to you. It's a huge honor to have you part of the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. I will reach out to you and your mom with regards to doing an interview with you officially. And again, congrats and anything you want to end the night with here.
Thank you so much. This means the world to me. Thank you so much. And to everybody that's watching this, don't ever forget to never give up and be yourself. Bye.
All right. Thanks a lot, Steven. So that was Mr. Steven Spice, the one and only Steven's Wrestling Journey, SWJ. You can find them on YouTube. If you go to cwnonline.ca, I always post all of his interviews, all of his videos. You'll find them on the main page. He's such a sweetheart. Again, called the Promo Kid. Steven Spice is, but very proud to have him be the official first entrant in the 2022 Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame presented by CWN. So a few more comments coming in. We got Dawn Jessica Parker says congrats, as well as we got Melody Spice. Oh my, so proud of you, Steven. So yeah, a lot of people happy about Steven going in. Me, one of them, Christine, as well as another one. And I'll give you guys a short story just with regards to the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. So last year we did the awards and, the inductees based on votes and stuff. And my wife had come up when we, sat down and kind of created what categories we wanted. She said there should be a category that's out there that with regards to a wrestler that goes above and beyond. And this is why the Just Giver category exists. Reached out to Diener last year. He was, proud, humble, very excited to be the first, official inductee into it. And then I reached out to him again this year, last year, I guess it would have been. And, Diener hands up was like, Steven Spice, he deserves it all the way. So once again, Steven Spice, the Just Giver Award, it will be posted on the website within the next 24 hours. But this show you can watch anytime at all, courtesy of YouTube, Facebook, as well as Twitch. So just got to get the proper banners going up here again. And I'll officially do a rundown here, guys. So CWN, like I said, 13th anniversary today. Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. History of it was the inaugural year last year. There is 10 categories in total, 9 votable, 8 were part of it last year. And now there's a 9th, and that was a new category that was created this year. So I will get to that. I will get to the rundown of it. But that being said, where am I here? Well, I guess that's pretty much it. CWNonline.ca is the best way to reach me and the website, but cpwhof.ca is the best way to be able to reach the Hall of Fame website there. So, guys, I'm going to go into a series of videos as well as some thank yous, just much like I did last year, and announce the official winners per category here. So, next category coming up is the legend category. 5 names per. I should announce how the voting takes place as well. So 5 names per category, 5 tag teams for the tag team category, obviously. How it works is basically the online vote is done through Facebook. You have to have a Facebook account to be able to vote in it. With that being said, the reason for it is because you can only normally have one Facebook account. I wanted to make sure it was legitimate as possible. So that's why the Facebook login was important when you had to do the vote. A lot more votes came in this year than last year, so I thank everybody very much. With that being said, the online vote itself makes up 70% of the vote. My vote takes up the other 30%. So you'll never see somebody going with like a 51, 52% vote. What'll happen is you'll see somebody either going with a 70% vote, which means that was the total fan vote, or they'll go with a 100% vote, which means the total fan vote as well as my vote, completed that 100%. So if there's somebody going out with 100%, it means I voted for them as well. So guys, keep those comments coming in, but like I said, I'm going to go into the categories now. This is the official legend category, and this is the video that was played throughout the month of November, December as well, and these were the 5 legends that were part of this category here, and I will announce the winner momentarily. So hey guys, 5 names in that category there for the legend. Last year's winner was the one and only Stu Hart. Legend category dedicated to a Canadian pro wrestler that competed prior to 1980 and excelled in the business. And like I said, last year's winner, 2021 inductee, was the one and only Stu Hart going into there. Obviously, you saw the competitors in this one: Roddy Piper, Rocky Johnson, Gene Kiniski, Ivan Koloff, Killer Kowalski. Piper, Johnson, Kiniski, Koloff, and Kowalski. And I am proud to announce, guys, going into the legend category as the inductee in the 2022 class of the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, presented by CWN, the one and only Roddy Piper. I got to see Roddy Piper when I was, I think, about 13 years old. I think it might have been the only time I got to see him. It was basically a steel cage match at the London Gardens here in London, Ontario. It was him as IC champion taking on Nature Boy Ric Flair as the heavyweight champion inside of a steel cage, and it was one of the greatest moments in the history of me being a wrestling fan, being there live. So congratulations to Roddy Piper for being inducted into the class of Hall of Fame this year. As far as the percentages go, it's worked out like this. Roddy Piper went in with 100% vote, so he had my vote. But as far as the online voting goes, 63.5% was fan votes. Rocky Johnson was next at 19. Gene Kiniski was next at 7.9. Ivan Koloff at 4.8. And Killer Kowalski at 4.8 as well. But 63.5% of the fan votes online through the voting poll was for Roddy Piper. So you put the 30% of mine on there, and he goes in with 100% vote. Very proud to announce Roddy Piper is in as the legend for the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2022. We got some more comments coming in. And it looks like, Antonio Miranda would have voted Ivan. Big fan of him as well. Obviously, he ended Sammartino's reign, and I think it was 51 years ago today, if I remember correctly. Aaron Sison says Roddy. Brad Ciccarella says, come on, Piper. And Brad Ciccarella again says, yes, congrats, Piper. So there we go. Piper is in the Hall of Fame as part of the legend category there, guys. So next category coming up, and I'm just going to scroll through the notes here. Again, I haven't done a live podcast since August, so I'm not doing too bad, I don't think. And anybody who's never seen me do this before, I kind of make fun of myself the whole show, so I pretty much get used to it. Male wrestler category is coming up next. Dedicated to a male Canadian pro wrestler that excelled in the business, 2021 inductee was Bret the Hitman Hart. this year. We have 5 names as well. I'm going to play the 5 names right now for everybody. Hide the banner first and then play the video. So I'm getting better at this. So guys, here are the 5 names going into the vote for the 2022 class for male wrestler, guys. So guys, those are the 5 names going into the class for the male wrestler for the voting. If you hear me say the names, even though they are up on the screen and you've seen the video, it's for anybody who's listening to the audio version of the podcast. But names going into this were Steve Corino, PCO, Lance Storm, Chris Jericho, and the one and only Owen Hart. That being said, guys, going into the 2022 class of Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame presented by CWN is the one and only Owen Hart as male wrestler. So to break it down, Owen Hart goes in with 100% of the votes. So he had my vote as well as the online voting, 59.7% of the fan vote he achieved. Next was Chris Jericho at 28.4, Lance Storm 4.5, PCO at 4.5, as well as Steve Corino at 3. So Owen Hart going into the class 2022 class of Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, 100%, like I said, 59.7% of the fan vote. And it's actually kind of cool because Owen Hart has been relevant on wrestling minds this year based on the fact that you got the Owen, as they call it, the Owen tournament coming up with regards to AEW and All Elite Wrestling. The Owen Hart Foundation being part of All Elite Wrestling, Martha Hart making that happen. And I'm looking forward to that. I think it takes place in May at, what is that pay-per-view that's coming up? And I'm so focused on this. I almost said Full Gear, but I know that's not it. Is it Double or Nothing? It might be Double or Nothing. But anyways, that's good. The finals will take place at the Double or Nothing, I believe, pay-per-view there. But tremendously excited. Owen Hart going into the Hall of Fame. We'll get some more comments coming in here, guys. Michael Collin, I want to, hold on, I gotta put the comment up on the screen. Michael Collin, when you doing Siren? Siren will be up probably roughly about 20 minutes or so. Then we got Antonio Miranda, Storm, Boo Jericho, as followed up by Brad Ciccarella and Owen. So he's a big fan of Owen Hart as well. So like I said, male wrestler going in is Owen Hart. Congrats to Owen. And like I said, that'll be posted on cpwhof.ca within the next 24 hours there, guys. So what does that make? We got 4 categories out of the way. Quicker show this year than last year, I believe, but like I said, I haven't done this in a while, but it's always nice to be back live on the air, and maybe I'll get the itch again to do CWN live or the weekly. We'll see. Coming up next, though, female wrestler dedicated to a female Canadian pro wrestler that excelled in the business. 2021 inductee was Trish Stratus. Again, 5 names in this, guys. Very powerful women. Some of them changed the wrestling scene, changed it for the better, of course, but I'm a fan of all 5 of these ladies, but I can only pick one. I'll get to that momentarily, guys. But here we go. Here are the 5 ladies that were in voting for the 2022 class for female wrestler, the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, presented by CWN. So there you go, guys. The 5 ladies being voted on for the 2022 class of the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. One and only Angelina Love, Rosemary, Gail Kim, Natalia, and Luna Vachon. And it is my honor to announce with it's only a 70% vote, so I did not vote for her. But like I said, all 5 of these ladies, very powerful ladies here. But the online vote is the one that counts. I just add to it. So guys, female wrestler 2022 class, the one and only Luna Vachon. And it was such a tight race. And then Luna just at the very end came and took it out. And when I say tight, you never know from the scores. Actually, you know what? You would, because the second number I'm going to read is going to be the important one. Luna won 32.7% of the fan vote. Right behind her at 30.8 was Natalia, followed up by 19.2 for Gail Kim. Rosemary had 11.5, Angelina Love at 5.8. But it looked like Natalia was going to get in there, but no, Luna took it at the very end. With that being said, the way it breaks down, some of these, and you'll notice this too, some of the people who are in the voting are still currently wrestling, but they made such a name in the business, even though they are still currently wrestling, that they could stop their careers today and it had be Hall of Fame material. And that was, decided on last year as well. But names like Natalia, obviously, Gail Kim's kind of borderline retired, but she'll come back for that one important match. And then you got Rosemary, obviously, and Angelina Love as well. But Luna Vachon is the 2022 class inductee for the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame for female wrestler. We got some more comments coming in here. So we got Antonio Miranda says Angelina. We got Brad Sicarella saying Natalia. We got Antonio Morella. Rosemary scares me. Yet turns. Okay, a PG comment. I've never really sworn on this show, but this is PG to me. Rosemary scares me, yet turns me on at the same time. Weird, I know. I'm reading these comments as I'm posting them on the air. I do scan them, but that one made me laugh. And congrats to Luna by Brad Sicarella as well. So there we go, guys. That is the female wrestler going into the 2022 class, and that is the one and only Luna Vachon. So coming up next, tag team. And with regards to who was asking with regards to the Siren, we got tag team, sharpshooter, and then Siren. So it should be the next 10 minutes or so. So tag team, dedicated Canadian Pro Wrestling tag team that excelled in the business. 2021 inductees were Edge and Christian. Like I said, Hall of Fame careers. Edge still wrestling, Christian still wrestling, different shows, obviously. But yeah, Hall of Fame careers. So guys, tag team, I'm going to break this down. One of the two members has to at least be Canadian, if not both members there. And you'll see what I mean when I play the video here. But honored to have all 5 of these tag teams as part of it. It's interesting that we'll see how it played out. But guys, here is the 2022 class tag team division as far as the voting went. So guys, check this out right here. So as you can see, huge generation gap between some of these tag teams here. But like I said, dedicated to a Canadian Pro Wrestling tag team that excelled in the business. 2021 inductees were Edge and Christian. So this one had the Rougeau brothers, the Vachons, the Natural Disasters, the Hart Foundation, and the Highlanders. And guys, I am proud to announce the 2022 class inductees for the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame are the one and only Hart Foundation. And it was close. They came close last year, I tell you this, and Edge and Christian barely beat them out. But as far as the vote goes, they were my vote, so they're going in with 100%. But of the fan vote, 80.4% of the fan vote. That's absolutely amazing. So, not only myself, but a lot of Canadians, everybody who voted for the Hart Foundation, Brett the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, of course, 80.4% of the fan vote. Following them were the Highlanders, Rory McAllister, Robbie McAllister. I'm Robbie. I can't do the accent, otherwise I would. But 16.1% of the vote. The Vachons, 3.6% of the vote. Natural Disasters, Rougeau brothers, no votes at all. So I might have to switch that up next year. But I've got a few tag teams in mind, and just to let you guys know, when I'm deciding the names that go into the category, so to speak, I get some help from outside sources. I have a huge Excel spreadsheet of all the names could possibly be in the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame voting. I highlight the one that I pick to make it legit, and I kind of go from there. So it's a huge list of people potentially trying to go into the Hall of Fame. even just the voting. But I will break that down more when I get to the very final category there, as well as the Sharpshooter Siren Awards as well. But congratulations to the Hart Foundation going in to the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2022. Make the second time that Brett's going in. Brett went in last year for the male wrestler, and when obviously the huge Hart legacy in there, and obviously Stu Hart being in the legend category himself, and then Roddy Piper, the cousin of the Harts. So, it's Canadian ties. It's just the way it is. More comments coming in. Where are we here? I don't know if I read this one yet, but I'm going to put this up. Rob Clubley says, way to go, Steven. So I just want to announce that. We've got Antonio Miranda, All-American Canadian Boys. Where are we here? Brad Ciccarella, they all deserve it. I can't pick. It's Antonio Miranda, great singers, obviously referring to the Rougeau brothers, I believe. That song is one of the greatest songs in the history of pro wrestling as far as I'm concerned, as well as Jacques Rougeau's I'm the Mountie. So Brad Ciccarella, congrats to Brett and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and then Antonio Miranda, Fart Foundation. So obviously not a big fan. I'm guessing he probably would have voted for the Rougeaus based on the comments that were coming up. But like I said, tag team, the Hart Foundation, class of 2022 going in. So guys, it is now time for the independent division. And I say that you'll see 2 independent categories. I will skip for I think 2, and then the very final one's going to be independent as well for the new category that was introduced this year. But next category, very close to my heart. I took a break from CWN at one point in time to do the Sharpshooter, and it just wasn't going the direction I wanted to, so I went back to CWN. Never shut down CWN, but went back to CWN, and the Sharpshooter's always been a big name. I believe back in the CWN early days, I used to do monthly awards, and I'm pretty sure you can find this on Instagram. I don't think Instagram, but I think it would have been Twitter. But I used to do the Sharpshooter of the month as well as the Siren of the month. But guys, Sharpshooter, dedicated to a male Canadian independent wrestler with the potential to excel in the business. 2021 inductee, the one and only King of the North, Carter Mason. Reached out to Carter. There is a name in here that Carter, basically put on board, and that was one of the things I'm going to follow through with next year and the following years, is I'm going to let last year's winner pick one of the names as far as the vote goes. So Carter Mason did pick one of these names. I'm going to play the video as I have been all night here. I'm going to show you who was in the running for the Sharpshooter inductee, the award here, and from there, guys, I will announce the winner, of course. So guys, just bringing up the video here, and here we go. So guys, those are the names for the Sharpshooter Award as far as the running for the votes go. So with that being said, I will announce the winner. I'll also announce who Carter Mason, put in as his nominee as far as the vote goes. But in there, Jim Strider, Michael Richard Bliss, Kobe Durst, Mark Wheeler, as well as Charlie Hubley. And I try to make it as fair as possible as far as going all across Canada. So you'll see Ontario wrestlers, Maritime wrestlers, as well as Alberta wrestlers in here as well. But guys, it is my pleasure to announce that the one and only, I'm going to bring this up here, Mr. Charlie Hubley is going in as the Sharpshooter for the 2022 class of Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame presented by CWN. He's going in with a 70% vote. That being said, Carter Mason is the one who nominated Charlie to be part of the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame voting for this year. So thank you, Carter, and I'll look forward to Charlie's vote to see who he wants to put in for the 2023 class. But congratulations to Charlie Hubley. 74.1% of the fan vote he achieved. Followed up by next was 8.6%. Mark Wheeler. Mark Wheeler was my vote this year. Kobe Durst had 7.8%. Michael Richard Bliss had 7.8% as well. Jim Strider had 1.7%. So congratulations to Charlie Hubley going in as the 2022 class Sharpshooter. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to do this. I'm going to hide this. I've got a video to play. And guys, enjoy this video here.
All right, so I just got a message, and I found out this year I'm being acknowledged as the recipient of the Sharpshooter Award. and I just want to make a video right quick and just thank everyone for not just voting for me, but voting for all the guys and girls in every category. It's the people's involvement in things like this that really help fuel the fire that isn't just Canadian professional wrestling, but it's professional wrestling in its entirety. And I just want to thank everyone involved with the Canadian Wrestling Network and the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame for building this platform and allowing me an opportunity to get my name out there a little bit more. And a big thank you to anyone that's ever trusted me enough to step in the ring with me, and an even bigger thank you to anyone that's ever given me feedback, whether it's on my in-ring abilities or what I can do behind a microphone, because, you know, ultimately that's how I'm going to continue to grow and get better as a professional wrestler. And, you know, here's hoping for big things in 2022 for not just myself, but hopefully each and every single one of you as well. Thanks again.
So thank you very much to Charlie Hubie for that video there. I'm still getting to know his character as a wrestler. He's got a YouTube account. Check it out. I was watching some of it last night. Oh my God, the guy is absolutely hilarious. He had big things coming up for this guy. And I've known his name as far as the maritime wrestling goes for a while now. And, you know, congratulations to Charlie Hubie. Thank you again for the video, for sending that in to me. And yeah, he is the 2022 Sharpshooter with the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame presented by CWN. Where are we here? So Brad Ciccarella, either Durst or Wheeler. And then we go to Antonio Miranda. It should be Hacker. Yes, that was talked about. And when I say talked about, you know what? I'm going to read the rest of the comments and I will come back to this one because this should be part of the show. Antonio Miranda says Wheeler. Brad Ciccarella says agree. Hacker as well. Tony Miranda says, who is that jabroni, a maritime wrestler? And then Brad Ciccarella looks like a less famous hacker. LOL. And I think it's the hair. I honestly think of the hair. But so I go back to the original comment by Antonio Miranda, and it says it should be the hacker. So guys, you know, like I said, I've been kind of on hiatus as far as live shows go since August of last year. That being said, a lot of stuff has happened since then. I almost did an end of the year show for CWN Live, but, you know, just timing, everything else didn't work out. So one of the biggest things that was talked about was with regards to hacker Scotty O'Shea, Curtis Sturrock, and, you know, emergency brain surgery on Thanksgiving weekend of last year. And it shattered, you know, the Ontario indie wrestling community. You know, very good friends with, you know, some of the people he is close to. I never really have personally gotten to meet him, but I've seen him at a very big amount of shows. You know, if you go to Canadian Independent Wrestling, as far as Facebook goes, the cover shot is one of the shots I've taken of him, being there live to, you know, to be honored to get to see him. You know, it's very, to me, anytime he was at a show, very kind of quiet, kept to himself, but, you know, he knew how to do it in the ring. And then when you hear about, you know, him getting married, having a kid, him being close to some of the people I'm close to on Facebook, and that shocking news that took place on Thanksgiving weekend brought me right back to what happened with the Buffalo Brothers, you know, that I think that January weekend a whole bunch of years ago. And it shattered me. And I was like, man, I gotta try to do as much as I possibly can to get the word out there. Last I checked, $50,000 goal as far as the GoFundMe goes. The goal had kept bumping up. I think the last I checked it was about 33, maybe 32, 33,000. Money coming in from everywhere. I know, you know, Ben Ortman's up there in Kitchener had done a benefit show for him, which I watched live on, I think it was a YouTube the one night. It might have been Twitch, but I believe it was YouTube. Bought tickets to the show, wasn't able to attend, so you know, I messaged Ben and say, hey, can you please give these to somebody who's looking forward to going to the show, you know. And anyways, like I said, the Ontario indie wrestling community was you know, just shattered. And to me, it's still, you know, it's I've been watching and seeing his wife post photos of, you know, him getting back to normal, so to speak, on Instagram, but it's a long road to recovery. You know, me being a family man, having kids, and knowing that he's married with a kid of his own, a baby at that. And like I said, it shattered the Ontario indie wrestling community as well as Canadian indie wrestling community. Try to do as much as I can at CWNonline.ca. I wasn't doing the live shows, otherwise I would have been talking about it exclusively. But I feel it needs to be said that, you know, when one heart breaks here in Ontario indie, pretty much every heart breaks. And, you know, it's the one thing I said, the amazing amount of support that came in for Curtis Sturrock and his wife. You know, people know him as the hacker Scotty O'Shea, you know, but again, it's I'm thinking about what I can do to do something as far as an award goes, because I had thought about it for this year, and the perseverance category, which I will talk about later on, came up. So, I plan to do something as far as the Hall of Fame goes, as far as CWN goes, and I will get that in the works for 2023. But Hacker has a lot of fans, and one of the biggest things was he would hate all the attention is some of the stuff I saw. But again, get well, anti-hero SOS, and I can't wait to see you back in a wrestling ring again, even if it's just to say goodbye, but your health, your safety, your family is the most important thing in the world, and again, please get well, and we're looking forward to seeing you come back in some sort of way, and you're very loved on the Ontario indie wrestling scene, where I am, on London, Ontario, of course, but fans worldwide, of course, as well. Some more comments coming in. So fan comments, of course, and this is why I love independent wrestling here in Canada. LOL, homeless hacker, by Antonio Miranda, referring to Charlie Hubley, of course. Brad Ciccarella, I've known Hacker since the beginning of his career. LLW, LLWA, and then Antonio Miranda, he goes, I've known Hacker since Tri-City. So love and support to the one and only Hacker, Scotty O'Shea, a.k.a. Curtis Sturrock. And, get well, continue to get well. And, like I said, I'll work on something for 2023 with regards to doing something for, Curtis Sturrock, Hacker, Scotty O'Shea there. So, guys, where are we here? Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. That's where we are. So yeah, like I said, I apologize if I said 20 minutes as far as the siren goes, but it is coming up next. And 5 names, 5 very talented young ladies in this category here. Siren category, Siren Award, dedicated to a female Canadian independent wrestler with the potential to excel in the business. 2021 inductee was Madison Miles. So 5 women in this category right here. I'm going to bring up the video. And where are we here? And guys, look at this, and I'll be back to announce the winner just momentarily here. So guys, those are the 5 nominees for the Siren category for the 2022 class of Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, presented by CWN. And like I said, dedicated to a female Canadian independent wrestling with the potential to excel in the business. Again, 2021 inductee was Madison Miles. Names in this one: Giselle Shaw, Jody Threat, Zoe Sager, Shiloh, as well, or Shiloh Polly. I think she's just going by Shiloh on the wrestling scene there, and of course Alexia Nicole. The winner in this one, going in with a 70% vote, 36.5% of the fan vote she did achieve, and that is the one and only Bubblegum Princess Alexia Nicole, going into the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame as part of the 2022 class. As far as the voting goes, she goes in with a 70% vote. 36.5% fan vote. Shiloh followed her by 23.8%. We had Zoe Sager at 17.5%. Jody Threat, 15.9%. She was my vote. And then we got Giselle Shaw at 6.3%. It was tight between Alexia Nicole as well as Shiloh. They were both, I think, on social media. I think it was on Twitter. One might have been on Instagram. And, they were asking people to vote for them. But in the end, ended up being the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole. Actually, I've had the honor to talk to Alexia Nicole. If you go to cwnonline.ca, there's an interview I had done with her way back. I believe it was 2018, maybe the date's beside it. But it was right after her WB tryout, so it was kind of cool. Very tiny lady, but very gifted in the ring, very athletic, and you can tell she works very hard to be where she's at. And she's only, I believe, mid-20s, if even that. So a huge future ahead of her. But yeah, congratulations, Alexia Nicole, going in with a 70% vote. Like I said, I voted for Jody Threat, but she had 36.5% of the fan vote, and that is the vote that matters the most. So get some more comments coming in. Where are we here? So Michael Colin, I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right. I run Hackers Fan Club on Facebook. Very cool. Antonio Miranda, I'm a part of it. And we've got Michael Collins, Shiloh, with about 10 exclamation marks beside it. We've got Shiloh is by Antonio Miranda. The fan comments, of course, I'm just reading them as long as they're PG. Brad Cicarella, Alexia or Giselle. We've got Michael Collins, Ha Antonio. And we've got Brad Cicarella, woo, way to go, Alexia. And then we've got Antonio Miranda, Zoe Hart. Let me see, about 7 hearts there. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Antonio Miranda, I'm down for some detective cookie. That is not offensive. That is part of Backyard Pro that was happening during the pandemic, where all of a sudden they wanted to put out wrestling, but they wanted to do it safely. Look up Psycho Mike versus The Rock. It's the best way to put it. But you see a lot of Ontario independent regulars who have changed their names into kind of comedy wrestlers, and it's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, Detective Cookie, Cookie Dough, I believe, was Alexia Nicole's character. And we've got Michelle Mitchell saying congratulations to Steven, the one and only Steven Spice there, guys. So only a couple categories left, and one of them is independent based. 2 could potentially, I guess, be independent based, but one definitely is. So next category coming up is close to my heart. That is the MMA category, the mixed martial arts category. Fell in love with it way back, and I'm going to date myself, 1994. Best friend at the time, we're huge wrestling fans. He goes, hey, you got to check this out. And I was like, what's this? He goes, the UFC. This was back in the day of, it wasn't the same way it was today, I tell you that much. And watching Hoist Gracie win it all that night, and down in the Maritimes where I'm from, St. John, New Brunswick, by the way, staying awake till I think 3 a.m. watching these super fights, as they used to call it. Hoist Gracie and this boring gi getting, beaten up on these bigger guys. And I'm like, holy crap, like what's going on? And all of a sudden, late 90s, get to meet Dan Severin. In the same city right now as Sam Stout. Went to the same karate dojo as Ryan Jimmo's dad actually taught me karate when I was in high school. So Ryan, the big deal Jimmo, unfortunately passed away several years ago. But MMA is close to my heart. So guys, this is the nominees with regards to the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame MMA category. And I'm going to bring that up to you guys right now. So guys, 5 huge names as far as mixed martial arts MMA category going into this one here. Dedicated to a Canadian mixed martial artist that excelled in the business, 2021 inductee was the one and only Rush George St. Pierre. So he was the vote for last year. This year we've got Sam Stout, Mark Hominick, David the Crow Loiseau. I always like saying the Crow. That's his nickname. TJ Grant, as well as the one and only Patrick Cote. And going in this year, guys, for the Hall of Fame, the class of 2022 for the MMA category was the one and only Patrick Cote. And it's very cool because anytime I've done, actually I shouldn't say anytime, but the past 2 years I've done this, he's either liked it on Twitter or retweeted it on Twitter. So it's kind of cool for me to see Patrick Cote be kind of a small part of this, but he was behind it last year. Obviously lost to George St. Pierre, but part of it this year. He goes in with 100% vote, so he had my vote as well as 56.3% of the fan vote. A lot of people early on in the month of November had TJ Grant. He got 28.1 at the very end. David the Crow Loiseau 9.4, Mark Hominick at 3.1, Sam Stead at 3.1. But in the beginning, it looked like TJ Grant was going to go in, but he only ended up with 28.1% of the vote. Like I said, Patrick Cote, the Predator, my vote, as well as the fan vote at 56.3 goes into the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2022. So congrats to the one and only Predator, Patrick Cote, who I believe is doing either TSN or Sportsnet now, which is pretty cool. But it's amazing to see himself as well as GSP George St. Pierre is still in tremendous shape. And if I could be in a tenth of the shape of those guys at my age, man, I'd love to. But it's anyways, it's profession, I guess, and they make UFC MMA look good. So congrats to GSP from last year, obviously Patrick Cote this year. Some more comments coming in. Where are we here? I watched MMA around the era of Chuck Liddell and GSP. That would be back in the days of Quentin Rampage Jackson, as well as Fedor Emelianenko, as well as the one and only Tito Ortiz. So yeah, I was a huge fan of that. Pride obviously existed back then, but very cool that you watch it as well, Brad Cigarella. Antonio Miranda Stout. I like a good strong beer. I get to meet Sam Stout on. I actually say the strong beer. I get to meet him on St. Patty's Day. There's a picture out there, I think on CWN, of me and Sam Stout kicking around at a place called McCabe's here in London on St. Patty's Day. And where are we here? Randy Charpentier. Yay, Patrick. No Nick Ring. Nick. Okay, I'm gonna quickly Google Nick Ring. Oh no, he's okay, boxer. Oh no, he is MMA. Okay, my apologies. I am not seeing his name before. Now I know his name, so that's going to be future reference. I will check the credentials for him, and we'll see if we can put him in for the 2023 vote. But thank you, Randy Charpentier. With regards to Nick Ring, I will make sure that he's part of the 2023 vote. I've got him up on Google right now, so I'll make sure that does take place. So guys, second last category of the night. And this is a pretty cool category where originally this was going to be the end of it, and then the Just Giver Award come out, and it's like, okay, well, this is still a pretty cool, recognition as far as categories go. This is what's called the Honor category, dedicated to a Canadian journalist, manager, promoter, referee, or trainer that excelled in the business. 2021 inductee was the one and only Jimmy Corderas. So 5 names in this one. Again, a big time gap as far as the generations go. But guys, you should recognize all these names here. I'm just going to bring it up here momentarily and get rid of this banner. And here we go, guys. So here are the 5 names in running for the Honor category for class of 2022. So guys, 5 huge names there with regards to people behind the business, sometimes in the ring, helping these guys perform as far as a great match or just being there at the right time. That being said, like I said, the Honor category is dedicated to Canadian journalist, manager, promoter, referee, or trainer that excelled in the business. And like I said, 2021 vote went to Jimmy Corderas. 5 names announced for this one: Greg Oliver, Sweet Daddy Siki, Scott D'Amore, Emile Dupree, as well as the one and only Ron Hutchison. And I'm getting in the habit of saying one and only with regards to, you'll get into the point where the winners are going to be announced, but I'm going to stop saying one and only. But anyways, in this case, I'm going to say it one final time. One and only, as far as the voting goes for the Honor Award for 2022, is the one and only Ron Hutchison. He came close last year. It was a big scramble almost at the end between him and Jimmy Corderas to see who's going to get in, but Jimmy Corderas went in last year. Ron Hutchison goes in this year. Guys, obviously Scott D'Amore, Impact Wrestling Vice President. I've met him several times. I used to venture into his restaurant down there in Windsor, Ontario when I had the opportunity to. First time I think I ever met him was through Tyson Dukes, and then from there, I think the last time I got to see him was at a show here in London, and then before that was the Impact TV tapings that I got to see Steven beat up on Tyson Dukes at courtesy of Joe Hendry there. But Scott D'Amore is absolutely amazing, just the amount of work that he absolutely does. Emile Dupree, Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling and Maritime Wrestling, Rene Dupree, obviously his son, Sweet Daddy Siki. If you don't know the story of Sweet Daddy Siki, find it on CBC Gem. Greg Oliver was a big part of helping make that happen, and obviously at the end, Greg Oliver being part of this vote as well. Greg Oliver, I had the honor of going almost an hour with last year for an interview that's up on CWN's YouTube page. I think you might be able to find it on CPWHOF as well, but you can check out the YouTube interview I did. It's also up on the CWNonline.ca, but a very good interview. I love Greg Oliver. Respect him. Got to meet him SummerSlam weekend back in 2019 in Toronto. And, it's a huge fan of Hilarious House of Frightenstein growing up. So when he wrote the book about the Hilarious House of Frightenstein, I was kind of marked out. So it was kind of cool to talk about that on the interview with him as well. But guys, Ron Hutchison going in with 100% vote. He had my vote going into this as well. 31.3% was a fan vote. Scott D'Amore not far behind at 25%. Emile Dupree at 20.8%. Sweet Daddy Siki at 18.8%. And then Greg Oliver at 4.2%. So very, very, very tight race there. Comments. So where we go. Antonio Miranda, Tom Hutchison, AWF. I think you meant to say Ron Hutchison, obviously. AWF was a promotion way back in Toronto. I think they used to do the CNE, if I'm correct. But man, some of the names and I can still see the AWF logo, but it was kind of go down memory lane there. Brad Sicarella says Hutchison as well. Antonio Moreno corrected himself, said Ron. Antonio Moreno, yay, somewhere I voted for actually won. And Brad Sicarella, I met him at a show a couple years back. Amazing individual, so Hutchison deserved this. Congratulations. Never had the honor of meeting him, but for the small little bit of wrestling community that doesn't know who Ron Hutchison is, Edge, Christian, Gail Kim, Trish Stratus, Beth Phoenix, I can go on and on and on. He was a big hand in helping them to become famous, to get them their breaks, in more ways than one. I heard it was tough there at Sully's gym with regards to some of those guys, but Ron Hutchison definitely deserves to go into the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, class of 2022. And like I said, guys, he had my vote as well. So, final category of the night, and it is new this year. You will not find it on last year's vote. You will find it in this year's vote only. Going forward, of course, you'll see it again. But we go from the honor category into the one and only what I call the perseverance category. And I was talking about this and I was like, you know what? There has to be something dedicated to a Canadian independent wrestler that has competed and excelled in the business for more than 15 years. And the first website I ever did, 2001. So when I think to look at some of the names that still are around in 2022 is absolutely amazing. But there's several names across Canada I can name off the top of my head. And like I said, that Excel spreadsheet I have, that's probably one of the longest lists I have as far as the categories go. But again, Perseverance Award going dedicated to a Canadian independent wrestler that has competed and excelled in the business for more than 15 years. New for 2022. The 5 names represent the Atlantic time zone, the Eastern time zone, the Central time zone, the Mountain time zone, and the Pacific time zone. So it's not just, 5 random people. Basically, I had people helping me out as far as who they would pick as far as a vote goes. So the people that are in this are picked for a reason. And like I said, I had help as far as Canadian Wrestling Network goes, but all big names, all have competed for more than 15 years. And it's very cool to officially announce the Perseverance category and the Perseverance Award this year for the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2022. And guys, here is the nominees. So guys, those are the 5 names for the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2022 Perseverance category. So we got Chi Cruz, Nicole Matthews, Gary Williams, Duke Durango, as well as Outlaw Scott Chase. And like I said, 5 names, and they represent the Atlantic time zone, Eastern time zone, Central time zone, Mountain time zone, as well as the Pacific time zone. And thanks to the help of the people of the Canadian Wrestling Network for helping me out with that. But guys, proud to announce the 2022 inaugural class winner going into this is Scott Chase, the Outlaw. and very proud of the fact that I've got to see him wrestle several times. Got to see him retire and then come back. But a short story with regards to Scott Chase and a personal story here. One of the nicest guys I think I've met. Pretty cool guy, with regards to who he is as an individual, his passion for the wrestling business. I've got like a little signal lag going on. So guys, if you're watching this right now, I apologize. My connection should be good, but I've got the data signal coming up. So I'm going to maybe stall just a little bit, and then I'll present the video that he presented to me. And, I'll go from there. But the audio is usually fine if I'm getting a data signal. I am connected hardwire, so I'm not sure what this is about. But Outlaw Scott Chase, I'll never forget going to the Paris Fairgrounds. Got to see the missing link. There was supposed to be a ring, autograph session, everything else. What had happened is with regards to the promoter apparently didn't show up. Some of the talent did. I watched the missing link wrestle. I forget who the guy was in Paris, Ontario, on hard grass, so to speak, just to put on a performance. But it's one of the first times I got to see Scott Chase, which was kind of cool. Angel Williams was there as well, who people obviously know from ROH, and it was pretty cool. But anyway, guys, it looks like the signal's cleared up. I'm going to run the video now, but congratulations to Scott Chase, and here is the video that he had sent to me. So just one sec, and here we go, guys.
Hey everyone, Outlaw Scott Chase here. First ever winner of the Perseverance Award for the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Been obsessed with wrestling my whole life, but started my wrestling story in 1999 with CWN Nick Nitro. And that's where I met up with a gentleman by the name of Tyron Eric Dawson and Angel Williams, who turned into Angelina Love. We started the Texas Hellraisers and lived up to the name, got heat everywhere we went. Numerous people that I would like to thank as at one point in my career I was champion in 5 different promotions, so I would definitely like to thank any promoter along the way that felt that I was worthy enough to wear the championship for their promotion. Numerous things that I'm proud of is bringing Great Lakes Championship Wrestling to Brantford. With the age of the Athletic Commission, it wasn't as easy as it looks, but we had the best roster there. I used to collect the PWI magazines when I was a little kid, so making the top 500 in that magazine in 2010 was very cool for me as well. And as a personal moment, I was super proud of that. It just goes on and on. I've met all my heroes, loved every minute of it. Numerous people that I would love to thank. Let me see, I don't even know. Rory McAllister was one for sure, who always pushed me to be better at the beginning, and I'll always be thankful for that. And I don't know, I can go on and on. Anybody that I've shared the ring with along my way and along this crazy adventure, all the stories, I wouldn't change a second of it, and that's a fact. Again, numerous things that I'm proud of, but this is very nice as well. So thank you for the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame for allowing me to be the first ever winner of the Perseverance Award, because I think that sums up my wrestling story, perseverance, because as many of you know, I've overcome many health issues to even continue to do what I love. So again, anybody that's in the business going forward, I wish you all the best, and I'd like to thank as well my beautiful wife and my beautiful daughters for supporting me in my craziness as well. So thanks again, everyone. Outlaw Scott Chase signing out here. Enjoy the rest of the show. Outlaw, you damn right.
So once again, thank you very much to Outlaw Scott Chase going into the 2022 class of the Perseverance category there. I've known him a while, and got to see quite a few of his matches. Got to see, I think, the Texas Hellraisers at one point against the Highlanders, which is absolutely phenomenal. But Outlaw Scott Chase going into the 2022 class of Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. And a couple more comments coming in here. So where are we here? Brad Zuccarella says, hope Chase gets it. We go to Antonio Morella. Nicole, 45th birthday, let her win. Antonio Miranda, once again, 35th. Then we go to Brad Ciccarella. Yes, yes, yes. Congrats, Chase. And then you missed Tyron Eric Dawson. Well, it could only do one per time zone. But that being said, it was the one and only Scott Chase going into the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2022. And he definitely deserves it there. So, guys, thank you for watching and listening to the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2022. You can check out, like I said, the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2022, cpwhof.ca, as well as the email is simply cpwhof at cwnonline.ca. I am Chris Maloney. I have enjoyed doing this. If there are still video issues, you can always listen to the audio. But again, I'm getting that data sort of signal on the screen here, so I'm going to have to check out the feedback, and there it goes again. So looks like it's only a short while, but that looks like I've gone an hour as well. But with regards to other stuff, Canadian Wrestling Network, I will branch out. Right now, it's kind of on a small hiatus. So there is CWN Online and there's Canadian Wrestling Network. I'm almost small hiatus because I want to see what I can do with it. The way I was running it wasn't the way I wanted to do things in particular. It was kind of like the sharpshooter, like I had mentioned during the show. But to me, it's one of those things I want to see how I can make it happen and how I can make it work perfect. With regards to that being said, it's something to me. I always love branching out. CWNonline.ca is going to be obviously my focal point, but the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame has been amazing. Like I said, the voting this year was amazing. The feedback was amazing. Guys, your comments tonight were amazing. Stephen being part of the show, being the first honoree for 2022 was cool as well as the comments by Diener inducting him, and Aiden Prince obviously congratulating him as well. But guys, thank you very much for being part of this. Thank you very much for watching and listening. As far as comments go, one more here. Love the show. Well done, man. Well, thank you very much from Brad Ciccarella. And look forward to this January 18th, 2023 of next year, doing the 2023 class. But as always, guys, like I said, you can check out the social media, the banners, the email, the web address, cpwhof.ca, as well as cwn.ca. For me personally, it is, where am I here? Oh, there we go. At Chris Maloney CWN, so you can check me out on social media. Beyond that, I'm kind of exhausted. Like I said, I haven't done this since August of last year, and this video thing is kind of bugging me, so I got to take a look at that. And let me see here. And the last comment here, Antonio Miranda, I hope my picks will make it next time. Well, I will make sure it's all out there on social media. But guys, like I said, social media, check me out at Chris Maloney CWN to check me out on social media there. And guys, it's been fun. It's been a long one, but it's been fun. And congratulations to all the honorees going into the 2022 class of Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. My name is Chris Maloney. Chris at cwnonline.ca is the best way you can get in touch with me. But as always, if you heard me on any other show, thank you very much for watching and listening. And I will see and talk to everybody again sometime soon.